I'm going to fade over. All right, we're live.
Oh my God. Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome to another edition of the show that we like to call The Jump Cut. Steve just hit his head on the camera, so he's checking some stuff out. I am your host, Nigel Fullerton. Here underneath the table is Steve May.
Who are you?
This is the show we call The Jump Cut. It's basically a show where we talk about movies, TV, pop culture, and all around geek You got it?
I'm good.
Okay, and all around geek topics.
We're a little crooked.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. You banged your head on. Are you okay?
No, I'm fine. I hit
All
my
right.
shoulder.
Okay.
I forgot something. I'm sorry to do this.
Oh my God, this is very professional.
Only the best for all of you.
You know, the show used to be called Between Two Ferns, but that was taken already. Are you coming to white balance this? What's going on?
I have to bring paper.
Oh my God. Oh, you have notes.
White balance?
Yeah.
What do you expect from me? What,
Okay.
I'm some sort of amateur? What do you think I've only been doing this for
Judging
15
how we
weeks?
started the show.
All right, we're great. Okay,
First-
so first thing I want to say, we're here with special guest Vinny Skidoppo. Or
Hey, that's Greek. No? Oh my God.
or
Italian.
Vinny Crowing.
See, I'm on Facebook as Vinny Crowing. Yeah.
Yes, Hunter. I was under the table sending that message. This is Vinny Crowing on Facebook. He plays for a solo project called Suicide Pending.
Ooh.
So we'll get more into that at the end of the show when we plug our stuff.
Yeah.
Before we start, I just wanted to mention Etika. He is a YouTuber, or he was, who streamed Nintendo content. He committed suicide a few days ago, and his body was just found or identified a few days ago. So I just want to take a second to say, depression is a really terrible thing. It's something that we all go through, and it's something that people, when you're in the moment of that, you feel like you're alone in the abyss. Just know that you're not alone. I personally am free to be reached out to if any of you need to talk about anything. And if you don't feel comfortable talking to me, you can always reach out to the suicide hotline at 1-800-273-8255. Just remember that there are still people who care about you, and you're not alone in this. So anyway, now off that serious note, let's go back to the jump cut.
I don't even know how to start now. No, I'm just joking. You can talk to me also.
Thanks, Anthony. I'm feeling beautiful.
That's my cousin Anthony. Thanks for watching it.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Well, first things first, we always start the jump cut with geek news.
Geek news!
Geek news. Yeah, so a couple small stories we'll talk about. First things first, the Black Widow movie has a new villain. The
Yes.
villain of the Black Widow movie is Taskmaster.
Oh.
Yeah.
we were in synchronization together.
Yeah, for the first time. Look at
Wow,
that.
we're actually almost on the same
Yeah.
page. It's like
So-
we've been doing a podcast together.
Wow.
So, what I know from Taskmaster is that he actually knows, he mimics the powers or the abilities of the people that he's against, correct?
Yeah. Well, Taskmaster, first of all, he was also in the Spider-Man PS4 game.
Yes, he was.
Which, as you guys might know, we kind of feel lukewarm about it. So,
yeah, a little lukewarm.
So Taskmaster, the way he works is he actually studies his foes and his friends, and he studies their combat dynamics.
Right. I remember
Fights
him
them
as
with their own-
a Captain America villain.
Was he Captain America villain?
At one point he was.
He's in so much stuff.
He's in so much
He's in
stuff.
so
Yeah.
much stuff.
So I don't know. How do you guys feel about this?
I'm pretty excited. Yeah.
Are you are?
I got some goosebumps about
Okay.
that. I didn't know that. I didn't hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. No. It was a new thing that
I've been out of
happened.
the loop for a little bit.
Oh wow.
Watch our show.
With geeks, I
know he watches it.
Yeah.
Hey, Chels, thanks for tuning in. What else were we talking about? Peanut Butter Falcon?
Sure. Peanut Butter Falcon.
Shia LaBeouf, he is still not divided, and he will not divide us with his new movie, Peanut Butter Falcon, which looks like a new take on What's Eating at Gilbert Grape.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie in forever.
And neither have I. The original movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Johnny Depp?
No. Yes, Johnny Depp wasn't.
Johnny
wasn't
Depp.
Yeah. River Phoenix also before he passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This movie looks like that. It's basically about a kid with Down syndrome who runs away from home to join a pro wrestling camp.
Oh, wow.
Become a pro wrestler, and he kind of goes on the road. He meets Shia LaBeouf and like, hey, yo, what's up? And they just like, let's hang out, let's do things, let's go run away from home together. We're fugitives, yo.
Mr. LaBeouf is back on the screen.
Mr. LaBeouf.
So, what does this kid turn into? Triple X?
I don't know.
Triple H, I'm sorry.
I watched a trailer for a movie that I am not excited at all
Oh,
about.
okay.
But those are all on my notes for this.
Oh, all right.
So
Well,
I'm just do that.
Next thing
rid of it.
next thing on Geek News. Next thing on Geek News. Teen Titans Go versus the Teen Titans. Yes, there's going to be a movie where the Teen Titans Go battle the original Teen Titans.
Original Teen Titans are gonna kill them.
Yeah.
Unless
But
they go to the movies.
unless they go to the movies.
Unless they go to the
Are you guys excited about that? Are you not excited?
The art style looks cool. Like it's kind of the same as expected.
Right.
I watched the trailer and after about 30 seconds I stopped caring. I'm not gonna pull a Nigel and say I fell asleep in it.
Oh yeah, I fall asleep through everything now. That's this
you think?
going without.
Sounds like fun. Sounds like it'll be fun.
What are your
but,
thoughts on
yeah.
Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans?
I never liked Teen Titans Go because it was like too childish. But recently, I think I got into it a little bit, and it's like it's fun,
Right.
More funny and stupid.
It's
you
more
know?
child friendly.
Yeah, but I grew up with Teen Titans, you know?
Right. So like in
So-
but in the trailer they go,
Yeah.
wow, it's the serious versions of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
They're being
Interesting.
really like self-aware, which is the good thing about that show because they weren't for the longest time.
I mean, I do like this whole versus thing, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Batman.
Yeah, yeah,
Which
I'm
I
aware
will
you're a fan
still
of that.
talk about that. Yes, I am a fan of that movie.
I didn't see that. I heard you guys
Oh.
talk about that last week.
Oh,
I
it was.
want to check. That
It
out.
was good. It was everything you think it's going to
Okay,
be.
yeah.
Like if you're if you're a real Turtles fan, if you're a real like Batman fan, like
Yeah.
you're gonna like it.
All right, so before we move into the reviews, because that was last of the news.
No, Spider-Man stuff.
That's right, Spider-Man speculation.
So yeah, there was
the
been
movie comes out a week,
next
6
week
days from now, right?
Yeah, next week. So there's been a lot of Spider-Man talk that's been going on the past couple of weeks. Thoughts about this movie, thoughts about new movies in the future. They're talking about a Spider-Man and Venom mashup, basically a crossover, kind of like a Maximum Carnage type thing. They've also speculated that a Spider-Man 4 might be a Spider-Verse movie with Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland.
No, really?
Oh,
Okay, I don't know how I feel about that.
I did not get this news.
Oh, you didn't hear that one?
I
Oh,
was not sent this in the pre-show chat. Oh, you caught me off guard with that.
I did. I was holding that in the tuck. I've been watching videos about that on YouTube all week.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Tobey Maguire. I'm so mixed on this, man. Because
It's going to be it's an idea of a live Spider-Verse.
yeah, but it's just that Tobey Maguire and like all them. Tobey is like such a weak Spider-Man.
Okay.
Andrew's a very strong Spider-Man, and Tom Holland's like a good balance between the two. Mm-hmm. But like when you're looking at a situation like this where they're kind of all coming in together, you got to make sure they have harmony, you know, because they could easily like overshadow each other.
I mean, they could easily do
gonna
that, but
clash.
if they do a Spider-Verse type thing,
Yeah.
they all played kind of the same Spider-Man.
not
They're
really.
Spider-Man.
A little
I guess.
different, but you know, what I
Yeah.
mean? They all played like a similar.
Andrew was like the punk Spider-Man. Like he skateboarded, you
He
know.
was a cool kid Spider-Man. so
Yeah,
people hated
he was
him.
too cool. Toby was too nerdy for me.
Yeah.
But everyone
Holland,
who looks
yeah.
back at the original Spider-Man trilogy in the cinemas is like people aren't realizing that you're looking at it with rose-tinted glasses. You know, a lot of it was deeply flawed, and like people argue that's the charm of it, but like. The charm of a movie isn't me getting screamed at by some psychotic woman every 5 seconds
But
on the street.
but see, you got to also understand that like for its time,
yeah.
you can't like for its time. It's like this was the movie
But I'm
that
saying
you watched.
today, looking back,
If you're looking back today, all the movies suck.
yeah.
Like there's a lot of flawed movies that we love. Like we herald these movies. Like
But,
for
like-
instance, I don't like what's that movie I don't like? I don't like Cocktail. I don't like a lot of Tom Cruise movies besides Mission Impossible.
See, Mission
I
Impossible.
don't know any good Tom Cruise movies.
Mission Impossible is like the most forgettable franchise to me. Like I could watch.
I mean, yeah. I'm talking about the first Mission Impossible.
But just in general, I could watch a movie. I could watch a Mission Impossible movie. About 20 minutes later, I just completely forgot that I saw it. I don't know if you're like that too, but
Yeah, I never really. They were never stuck for me.
Yeah, I like the first Mission Impossible. The rest, I'm just like, eh.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the thing. Like, there's a lot of movies that are like that. You know, I can name a whole bunch that are like that. That were like, oh yeah, this is great. But now you watch it, you're like, this sucks.
I guess like. But when I look at a lot of these movies, I can tell if it's a shitty movie. Or, excuse my language, a bad movie.
See, you cursed.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm like really. It was a long day. I can tell if it was a bad movie, but like I can still enjoy it despite it being a bad movie. You know?
Okay.
There's a lot like horror movies. notorious for that. Notorious
Oh, yeah.
for being bad movies that you can still enjoy.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Some horror movies are supposed to be bad.
They're they're not supposed to. Be.
Some are supposed to be bad. Some you can actually enjoy.
It's the point. Yeah.
Some are just like super terrible.
Well, like Troll
one of
2
the
was, like,
movies.
Troll 2 was terrible.
one.
Troll 2 was terrible, but it was still it could still be enjoyable. But
Right.
anyway, so
like Leprechaun and Leprechaun Goes to the Hood.
anyway,
The first one is good. It's not good, but it's good. You can watch it. But Leprechaun Goes to the Hood is like unbearable.
Yeah, it's horrible. You ready to get into the movies?
yes.
Okay.
I'm checking, making sure everyone's checking the chat. All is good for that. So just finishing it off. I do not want that clash between the characters. That's just how I feel.
All right.
So
Any Spider-Man predictions before we get into this?
I predict that is going to start heavily falling off at the third movie when they really.
No, I'm talking about for Far From Home that's coming out
Far
next
From
week.
Home?
Yeah.
I mean, I just think that I think it's going to be a mess. That's really what I feel.
Think so?
I think the multiverse thing is going to end up being a mess because I don't think that they intended to do that until they saw the success that was possible with Into the
Spider-Verse, right.
So
I don't think the multiverse is going to be a mess. I think that these people are going to be all frauds. I think that Nick Fury is the chameleon.
okay.
I think that Mysterio is basically going to do Mysterio things. These are all like illusions. These are not things they're calling them elementals, but I don't think that this is actual Hydra Man or this is actual Molten Man. I think that these are just going to be figments of our imagination, and Spider-Man's trying to stop them.
No.
Because Mysterio was a special effects guy.
Yeah.
So he could have set all this stuff up, and he's trying to basically play like he's the superhero, but we know it's going to turn.
I think Mysterio is going to be. I don't know. I feel like he's going to start off as like the anti-hero and then like
Right.
come in as like part of the good guys for the greater cause.
Or there might not be a multiverse, and he's just making all that stuff up.
Maybe the snap didn't do anything. But anyway, what do you think?
I like that idea. But I mean, I'm excited for Mysterio. I love mind-bending things.
Wasn't Jake
I love-
Gyllenhaal supposed to play Mysterio in Spider-Man 4?
He was supposed to be Spider-Man
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Spider-Man 2.
But I feel like that's why they never did it. They
Yeah.
never did Mysterio. And I'm excited to see what they do with that. After what with the Spider-Verse and Endgame and stuff, and bringing that whole thing. What if the snap never happened? I'm excited. I think it's gonna be good. But
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they can
Yeah.
do something where they can just negate Endgame and just make it all.
I don't think they're doing
I don't
that.
think they're going to, but I'm saying they
in the
could.
trailers that I've watched, a lot of it was dealing with the whole snap thing and the fact that they have to deal with the fact that half of their class is 5 years older.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of heavy lifting that this movie has to
that
do.
was kind of a hole. I remember
Yeah.
watching that a couple weeks ago. That was kind of like a
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
does that work?
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
in college now.
I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Back, like, nothing
And
happened.
you know what's even weirder? And I know they're in different countries, but I swear to you, I saw in a trailer that Tom Holland drinks a beer. Like he says, I'm going to go get a beer, and I'm like, wait a second, you're
'cause he was
still
16.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still, okay.
So like.
His class
That's
is
true.
20.
But everybody else is older, so like technically he's actually 21.
I
But
mean, if time's still advanced, he has his ID and it's still
right,
yeah. So that's true. But anyway, let's get
That's
into these
interesting.
reviews because we're playing some catch up.
Okay.
All right. So first up, we're going to do Toy Story.
Toy Story 4.
Toy Story. Yeah. So Toy. It could have ended. All right. So let's start from the beginning. Toy Story 1. Right.
Okay.
It starts off as just kind of like a friendly concept of like, what if your toys came to life when you weren't there?
Right.
And what if they lived to bring you joy and happiness and like, just generally improve your life? Toy Story 2 expanded more upon that, but also showed kind of terrors that the toys can go through. Mm-hmm. With like it being cut open and showed like the Darth Vader type villains and stuff like that. And Jesse.
But being
Yeah.
attached, show that they have attached.
Yeah, I don't remember Toy Story 2 that well. I remember like the collector had grabbed Woody.
Yeah.
And
That sewing
Jesse was
scene.
introduced, and the horse was introduced, which there was no horse in this one.
Yeah, it's true.
Bullseye.
Yeah, Bullseye wasn't in there.
He
But-
wasn't in this one.
No, I didn't see it. I don't remember.
I don't see. I heard him say
I
Bullseye.
remember Slinky Puppy.
I remember Slinky.
Bullseye and Jesse had no role. A lot of people had no role in this one. They were just kinda
we're getting there.
Yeah.
Toy Story 3 was supposed to wrap up the trilogy. It was supposed to be done from a perspective of, hey, you guys are like 10 years older now. It's been quite a bit. Andy's going to college. We know that most of the fans are going to college now.
Right.
We want to kind of give you guys closure to this franchise that you grew up with. And it brought in some darkness, it brought in some humor, some tragedy, loves, losses, and all that. And that was supposed to put a bow on everything. But then, like 4 years later, like, hey, we're making a new one.
Well, yeah. Well, they did. Actually, it's not 4 years later. This is
it?
No, the last Toy Story was 2010.
It was 2010.
Was it 2010?
Yeah, that's why I was when the movie started, and this this is a pet peeve for me. It said 9 years, and I'm like, dude, no.
Why am I?
You're right, but it's a Disney movie, so I get it. But 9 years ago, don't make Andy like younger. Make him say 9 years ago he gave the toys away or whatever.
On the 9-year aspect.
Yeah,
Really, that was 18.
that bothered me when I first saw the movie. I'm like, yo, what the hell?
Well, all right, let's get started in this Toy Story 4 review. I'm trying to rebound off of that information.
Yo, Andy should be like 30 years old right now.
Now he's pushing 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now we have so now we're going deep into Toy Story 4, where the toys are to a new family. Focus is on Woody with the feeling of love and loss in an extent too. You see that they're bringing Jesse in as the kind of Jesse was a supplemental character to the gang initially,
right?
But now she's kind of replacing Woody because Woody was also a figure for a male protagonist, kind of like that cool toy. But now Jesse, they have Bonnie, the new female.
Well, I have an issue with that also because in Toy Story 3, these toys were in the attic for like a long time, not played with.
Yeah.
So why is Woody always wanting to be played with? Like he always feels like, hey, somebody else is getting the better of me.
Because he's used to being the favorite.
Yeah, but if he's used to being the favorite and he's been in a box for 10 years, you know what I mean? Like,
not really, no, because Woody was meant to be like the one that Woody was like. He's used to being the one, with Andy's name on his boot.
Right.
He's used to being the one that like runs the gang. So it's like
That was since the first one.
Yeah, I think he wanted
kind of a jealous.
But that's what I'm saying. In between Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3, like you find out Andy doesn't play with these toys no more. You find out that Andy's toys are in a box in the attic, so they haven't been played with. So how are you still feeling like you're the favorite if you haven't been played with for 10 years?
Delusions. It's like that's kind of
toys have delusions.
I mean, look at the antagonist of this movie. Delusions. The movie is built upon like the concept of a character thinking that she will be loved despite like something that's wrong with her. I don't want to go into spoiler territory for this, but she thinks that because of her fault she'll be loved more, and that's kind of like her delusion there. Right. And they paint it pretty obviously as a delusion from the get-go. So this movie is like equally for the kids as it is for the adults. I have friends who sat through the movie who's been following the franchise for years, saying like they teared up during it.
Did they?
Yeah, because
this messed me up.
Yeah,
it just didn't mess me up.
I don't feel the connection to the characters as much.
Yeah, I didn't cry through the third one or this one.
I can't think of a movie that I've ever cried through, honestly.
Yeah, why would you cry through this movie?
Just in any movie.
This one was like very touching, very emotional.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
What like really got you to get that emotional?
I mean, like you have attachment to these characters. Like, if you
I get you.
To them, I've always loved Toy Story.
I mean, I saw the first one in the movie theater, so like I get it, but I just I was just like I didn't have that attachment anymore because I wasn't in. The introduction of Bonnie from the third one to this one didn't really do much for me. Like I'm like, okay, she's new, she's a new person, but like it didn't really do that much for me.
Well, at the end of the third one, that's like the most emotional part. At the end, Andy gives away Woody. He wanted to take Woody to college,
right?
And he realized he jumped in the box.
Yeah,
and Bonnie knew Woody. So it's like, oh look,
the cowboy.
Yeah, he was like, what? He pulled away. He didn't want to give it away, and then he realized how it can make a little girl happy.
That's what made you. So now I know why you were emotional.
So like,
okay, I got it.
So it's kind of like the attachment they have to the kids, and the kids' attachment to the toys. Like it kind of takes you back to being a child again for a little bit.
Nah, my grandmother used to throw out all my toys. Oh my God. She was like, "If you leave them in the floor, I'm throwing them out."
I still have my Power Rangers action figures somewhere.
I have nothing left. All of my Ninja Turtles are gone. All of them, except for the turtle van. I still have my turtle van.
But yeah, so the first thing I noticed about when seeing this movie is it starts. Like, it's not like, it starts out off like in the distance and zooms into the house. It just starts right in the house in the middle of like a predicament. And first thing you notice is it's gorgeous. It's such a well-designed, well-animated movie, really great art style. And one thing that I noticed is that Woody is like the oldest toy. And you can tell the original toys, they look older.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at it and I'm trying to pin what is it, Is it the shading? Is it the textures? Is it like... They look noticeably older than the rest. It might be because of bias of like the familiar face.
I had 3D glasses on. I couldn't tell.
I didn't see it in 3D. Did you see it in 3D?
No.
So what do you think?
I mean, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's our own bias.
Is it?
Yeah, I think
like
so.
It's our own bias. Yeah.
I think so.
Because it looks seeing Woody and Buzz is like wow versus seeing the new toys.
And Buzz didn't say as much as like I would expect. Like from
he was
the other
pretty
movies.
dumbed down.
Yeah, a lot of them were like dialed down.
Yeah, it was a Woody movie.
It was.
It was, but it's just to me, Woody looked almost anachronistic, Like Woody didn't look like he belonged with the rest, and I'm used to, even with the last movie when they introduced new characters, they also look like they fit in,
Right.
But this movie, Woody does look like the odd one out, especially when they have a spork as a new character, which is really interesting because
trash.
what they did with the spork is really interesting. They made the spork the looking glass for the new generation.
Okay.
Because that's the new character being brought into the group. Doesn't have its identity, thinks that it belongs like in the trash, doesn't think it can be enjoyed as a toy, kind of the odd one out, and slowly like being developed as a character to become more and more of like one that fits in with the crowd and shown with acceptance.
They kind of have that hive mind in the beginning, like Buzz in the first one. They have this just like I'm here for this purpose. I'm trash. Or Buzz thought he was.
Yeah, Buzz. That happens. I mean, I guess that happens when anytime there's a new toy introduced. When we go from Toy Story 1, Toy Story 2, when we meet Toy Story 2 is when we meet Bullseye, the Prospector, and Jesse.
They don't know they can be your.
They don't know, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing with these movies is like in art, the way they can organically introduce these characters. And I love that that Spork or Forky is like the tether, like Woody's mental tether to his old life.
Yeah, he's really trying to help out Forky a lot. Like even going to school and like, making sure everything is okay with Forky. Like he's really trying to make sure that Forky is not lost.
He still thinks it's his job to make everyone happy.
Right.
He's not helping Forky, he's helping Bonnie.
Yeah, but it's not
right.
But even before Bonnie, it's like it's more, which is a little bit spoiler territory, so I'm just gonna stay away from that. But
it's a child's plaything.
Yeah, but it's the way he's being utilized as like a character is he's using. He's basically living vicariously through Forky, It's more along the lines of like, I get neglected all the time. I'm noticing it. The movie's kind of him coming to terms with that,
right?
And seeing that like he's not the favorite.
So is he more old man Woody? Than like trying to be, hey, why don't you, if you play with this kid, then you can play with me again, like trying to attach himself to Forky. So like, hey, you got Forky and you got Woody.
I think it's more the vicarious line.
Okay.
I think it's more because like Woody's kind of deep down accepts that he's like the lost cause. Okay. Ever since he got his first dust bunny.
Yeah, he's starting to. He learned like empathy in this one. He learned to like help others. And do things for others.
And it's crazy to think that we're talking about all these things about toys.
Isn't that awesome?
All these emotions being conveyed.
What about the new characters that were like some of the ones that we do know about?
Keen
Peele, yeah.
Yeah.
I love Key and Peele in this. I thought that was the best.
I forgot they were in the movie.
I remember.
I forgot
because I was waiting
Keanu
for
Reeves
them.
Was in the movie.
Yeah, my favorite is Combat Carl. Combat Carl, I like when they were in the woods.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. He only it was a short amount of time, but I like Combat Carl.
I also like the that they were playing with merging the old and new characters, saying that we don't need a kid to make us happy, and we don't need to like be sufficient for a kid. We just could be nomads roaming the land.
Right.
Now that was a really cool concept too.
Yeah.
Like having they're like sentient,
Yeah.
They're maintaining their own like moral integrity by saying, "Hey, we're our own people," even though you're pieces of plastic. But I still want to cut one open to see what makes them live. Is it magic? Is it just magic? Do they have beating hearts? Do they think? These toys?
I think it's artificial intelligence or voodoo.
Voodoo. You think that
not
in the
voodoo anymore.
You think in the factory in the factory you just have emeralds going bam. Bring it to life.
Emeralds. Yeah. Well, that's also part a lot of the heart with the being nomads and being attached to a kid. Like I saw, I mean, this is maybe a little bit in spoiler territory, but with Bo Peep.
Yeah.
And that, like, you know, Woody and Bo Peep reconnecting. It's like,
Yeah.
it's kind of touching for me, I guess.
Yeah, Woody.
But-
Woody's got someplace to put a snake out of his boot. Yeah, there's a snake in my boot.
I don't like either of you. I'm just gonna put that out there.
It's not in his boot no more.
It was definitely an organic development of characters over the course of these past few decades.
Right.
And that's one thing I give props for, is that they were able to do this and like bring the audience back into their mode. Because like, as you guys probably know, the two ferns that I'm sitting between,
Hey.
I'm not a big Disney guy.
Yeah.
Never really was.
I was surprised when you told me you liked it.
I enjoyed it because it was a good movie. I'm not going to deny a movie of its merits if it's enjoyable,
Right.
you know? But like, I'm not sitting there saying, oh boy, a new Disney movie. That's not how I am. I'm like, it's more along the lines of like, all right, well, I'm going to see this for the show. Honestly, if it wasn't for the show, I probably wouldn't have seen it.
Same.
I
Yeah.
used to be like that. I grew to be more like a Disney person. Which is really
It happens
as I got
because you
older.
want the nostalgia. You're waiting for you're like oh yeah, I remember when I watched Tarzan when I was a kid. You know, like it
Anything
happens.
Pixar comes
Yeah.
out with movies, I gotta see
You'd
it.
be like, yo, Cars. I was like, Cars is
It's
my
gonna be
thing.
good. Yeah, yeah.
You know?
It's gonna be good. So
Speaking of Pixar, make sure to stay around to the end of the movie for the new Pixar animation.
Oh, I didn't stay.
You didn't stay?
No.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay.
it was an animation.
Yeah.
I just saw the little like cut scenes.
Yeah, there's one all the way at the end.
Oh wow.
I waited to the end and I didn't see.
I'll tell you after. I don't want to
yeah,
spoil it for anyone who wants to see it.
We waited and I don't make what the.
Yeah, I waited. I saw like the little thing. I didn't know there was something else.
All right. Well, anyway, just to put this all in together, the one other thing that I wanted to say that they did incredibly well was the horror aspects of it. Like, they have a point where they enter this antique shop, and it's like you have the ventriloquist dummies as well as the antagonist, and it's just like takes a turn for the dark.
It reminded me of Goosebumps.
Yeah, because like you see,
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
It reminded me of Goosebumps.
Woody meets this new character who's overly friendly, and then
Yeah.
you just see it gets darker and darker and darker as it goes, and it's just so kind of shocking to me in a way,
Yeah.
because you have Woody who's just kind of still believing that there's all good in the world,
Yeah.
and this is kind of his breaking point in this movie, and the way they did it is it wasn't like objectively scary, but like there's plot points there that exist in movies like Hostel.
Yeah, it was creepy as hell. It was terrifying. I was saying that I was looking around. There was kids in my theater. I'm like, these kids are traumatized now. This is terrifying.
I mean, it's not as like over the top as it was for like what was that movie? Power, was it? Power, not Power Man. For what was that one Disney just did? Not Disney, DC just did with the guy from Chuck.
Oh, Shazam.
Shazam, yeah. It wasn't as dark. It wasn't as dark or freaky as that. That like had,
Yeah, that was real dark
That was
because
pretty
they
dark
like threw
visuals.
people out the window.
Yeah. Well, they also like the character designs. They're Guillermo del Toro style designs because
Yeah.
like he directed it, didn't
Oh,
he?
No, he
No,
didn't.
he didn't.
He
Yeah,
didn't.
That
they
was
looked like
pretty
Del Toro
creepy and dark.
designs.
I didn't really think of it like that. I mean, it's a superhero movie. I loved Shazam. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it was,
those parts are super creepy. Like
Yeah.
when they those 7 Deadly Sins. Yeah,
yeah, I love that though. But this is Toy Story.
yeah, it's Toy Story.
Another thing I got to say for this movie that I got to give it major props for, and I'm trying to remember all this too, is that the pacing is spectacular.
Think so?
I was not bored at all during this movie
Yeah.
because the points where it slowed down, it intended to slow down. It intended to slow down to like get you to meet the characters.
Sure.
It organically brought in the new characters, like when it brought in Key and Peele. They were hilarious. They were probably my favorite part about the movie because they were just bantering back and forth. They made a bunch of really stupid jokes and it just kind of worked. They were very over the top.
Or the fact they wanted to kill everybody. Like that
Yeah.
was hilarious.
Shoot lasers from their eyes as
Yeah.
giants and stomp through the entire town.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized, like, it took me like maybe the second scene that they were in. I was like, oh, that's Key and Peele.
Yeah.
No, I knew from the trailer. When the trailer came out, like they were like to infinity and your mom.
Yeah, the
great.
trailer was brilliant because it was basically them just being super like fourth wall breaking meta
Exactly.
style. And it's like they did such a
their thing.
great job. Their chemistry is always as visible as like it ever could be.
You know what was funny to me, like when I was watching this movie versus like the trailers, because like there's a whole bunch of trailers before Toy Story starts.
Yeah.
So my question is like, do we really care who the people are voicing these cartoons?
It was really interesting because I was watching videos of Mark Hamill doing voice acting for his roles, and he did this one thing where he was talking about his role for Chucky, and he said that his job isn't to do a recognizable voice because like he could easily do the Joker's voice for Chucky and make it creepy and like weird, but that's not. He says that's not really called for. Like what it called for more, it was like what he gave it. He said that it could be anyone else. His job isn't to make you think, hey, I'm Mark Hamill. It's to make you think that the character is an authentic being.
I thought it was the Joker. I was like, oh,
Really?
that sounds like the Joker.
Oh no, I didn't get that at all. I was like,
No, I didn't.
I didn't think that. I had too many other thoughts going through my mind.
Well,
But the only reason I asked that question,
before we get into
the only
that,
reason I had to ask that question was because there was a movie with James Franco.
Yeah.
And I'm like, isn't James Franco canceled? And I'm like, maybe it doesn't matter because it is an animated movie.
Yeah.
You know,
James Franco's back.
I mean, nobody said anything.
Yeah. So
There was a whole court case that was supposed to happen.
And what?
He like groped somebody or did something like to someone. Yeah, sexual harassment.
He's in a movie?
He's in an animated movie coming out. That was my question. But go ahead.
let's just
Wrap it up.
Put this all together. Overall, what I liked the pacing. I liked the visuals. Visuals were spectacular. That's to be expected
Pixar.
from something with this big of a budget.
Pixar.
Yeah, like character development was great. Some characters you care more about than others. I didn't care about a lot of the new characters. Some characters were just
Yeah.
there for a quick purpose, and that was really it. I liked the themes that they explored. I liked the plot points that they kind of touched upon, and I do think that they are going to make this into another trilogy.
I hope not.
Same, but I think it's going to happen.
I don't think if they do, I'm against it.
So
I
am I,
definitely
but
am.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Because of the ending, I'm against it.
Anyway, I'm going to say that.
do that?
And I want to say that I really like this movie. I think that one thing, it made actually Toy Story 3 worse for me because it took off the definitive nature of Toy Story 3 and brought it into the fourth. But I like this movie. I recommend watching it. I had a good time. I don't know if I'll watch it again. I might if it's on, but I don't think I'm going to buy it and watch it on my own. But it was worth the experience.
I think I like Toy Story 3 better. I like the characters that were introduced in Toy Story 3, but this was okay. Bring your kids. It's a nice little fun, nostalgic trip.
Make sure your kids don't cry because I was sitting next to the loudest kid in the entire theater. I was not having a good time with that.
I watched it today, so there was like
Saw
three
it today,
kids.
jeez.
Yeah, there was like I watched these movies before I get here.
Oh my lord! We saw Chucky You saw Chucky yesterday.
Yeah, I saw Chucky yesterday.
You guys watch Chucky together?
No,
No.
separate.
So-
Same time, separate.
Same time, separate. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched them on the weekend,
Oh.
kind of.
All right. So what do you think? Would you recommend it?
Toy Story 4, yeah, definitely 5 stars.
All right, 5
was
star.
great.
We
I
don't.
loved it.
We don't,
I loved
Oh,
it.
man.
Yeah.
we don't do the star system here, but Vinny's new. So.
Yeah, it's okay. 5 stars.
All
Give it 5
right.
stars.
So
I'll give
next
it-
up, Nigel's favorite movie. We're going to
Oh my
review Chucky, Child's Play.
Oh my God.
So let's start this off. Vinny over here is a horror enthusiast, as you can probably tell by this lovely shirt right here. He loves horror. He is probably the biggest horror fanatic I know. I watch horror movies with him almost every other weekend, and he has some interesting perspectives of it, and he really analyzes movies. So first, I wanted to just touch upon the original Chucky's.
Yeah.
Let's just start off just very quickly. What do you think about the original ones?
I mean, okay, Child's Play, the first one is one of my favorite like movies growing up to watch. One of the classics. The second one and the third one follow well.
Yeah.
Once the Bride and the Seed gets stupid, and then the last two they made, I couldn't even watch.
You couldn't watch the last two?
Curse and the Cult, I couldn't even watch.
The
Apparently
Cult was better.
Good.
The Cult was
So I
good.
might check it out now.
The
but
Cult was good. The
just
Curse
was so bad. I heard
Yeah.
Cult. I'm like, I'm not even.
Cult
seeing
was
that.
Cult was decent
And
because I've
yeah.
seen all of them.
Yeah.
Cult was decent, but
I heard that they bring everyone back or whatever.
Yeah.
But now this one, I was like not gonna see it. I saw the trailer. I'm like, oh, okay, now we're just gonna restart the franchise. All right, it looks terrible. I wasn't gonna see.
well, I already didn't like it because like when I saw the trailer, there are certain things, and I said it on the show
same thing.
about what I didn't like about it.
This is on our episode, I believe, about rebooting franchise.
Yeah, we were talking about rebooting franchises.
restart.
And what's funny is, honestly, besides Brightburn, we haven't watched an original movie in weeks.
That's true.
It's all
They've all
We
been
saw Ma.
well, Ma. Besides Ma and Brightburn, everything's been a sequel or a reboot.
That's true. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Well, I watched. I don't know if you count TV shows, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But yeah. But what do you? So do you think did Child's Play live up to your fear?
My fear.
Your fear of it being just another
Terrible.
kind of.
Oh yeah, it
Really?
definitely. It was. I hated it. It was terrible, atrocious.
Just let me know when you want to pass the ball over here.
All right, so since we're in different ballparks right now, we're gonna have a bit of an argument going on for the show. 'Cause
All
it's gonna
right.
be fun.
Why did they do that? Like
So-
first 10 seconds, I was like, oh, I wanted to walk out.
The first thing that you notice about this movie is the first half of it essentially is development of the character Chucky. Mm-hmm. It's you have an intentionally broken doll, and the doll's trying to learn ways, and it has its own warped in perspective, kind of like, oh, well, listen, I want to play with this kid, but this kid's kind of like, I'm freaking him out. But if no one can play with him, then no one can. If I can't, no one can. So
Right.
they're going down that perspective. They're doing a very, they took an oddly technocratic standpoint for this movie. Like, they are touching upon the autonomous home idea, right? With the Nest products and the Google Home products and everything, right?
Okay.
I mean, we have
The whole thing, yeah.
yeah, like he's basically the pull of Chucky isn't its look or anything like that. It's the fact that the parents like it for its autonomy, how it can control everything, and the kids like it because it's a toy. So Nigel's not liking what I'm saying at all.
I don't like this movie, man.
I'm trying to give
I
perspective.
know. Go ahead.
Looking at the movie, first thing that I got to say that they did well with this autonomous home is that Chucky was able to do some really cool horror scenes with it.
Okay, granted.
He was able to do some like really interesting kills. He was able to do some really interesting kind of like build-ups of tension, and what I think they also did decently well was the building up of Chucky. I know Vinny doesn't like this stuff because we talk about the Rob Zombie reboot of Halloween.
Which I hear is good.
I
but
liked
I guess
it.
Not.
He didn't.
No, I haven't seen
Because
it.
he doesn't like how you gave the killer a mind, like kind of like
gotcha.
a motive in the background.
That's,
Okay.
It took away the fear.
So that
fun movie.
They kind of did like what they did with Rob Zombie's Halloween with this is kind of what they did with this for the Child's Play series. They gave him a motive. They kind of like started bringing him up, introducing other characters, making him kind of like the new big fad. They kind of treated him like the Nintendo Wii of the time of our modern day, you know, where like everyone's kind of like going on Black Friday or whatever. Or Nintendo Wii launch is just trampling each other trying to get the new one.
That's hilarious.
You had to get tickets in line. People were scalping their tickets for the Nintendo Wii.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that's what it really is for the Buddy 2.
Yeah.
Buddy too, yeah.
But
Which is very interesting because of my buddy. I don't know if you guys know that, but my buddy was who originally was supposed to be Chucky.
Yeah.
That's what it was modeled after, which I had a My Buddy and I threw it in the trash once this movie came out.
Well, the original?
When the original Child's Play came out, I had a My Buddy doll and I threw it in the trash.
Yeah, because the original, yeah.
Yeah.
What's it called?
It was called Child's Play.
No, the original.
I was called My Buddy.
Yep. Was it called My Buddy?
It was called My Buddy. That's why I found it funny that the name was Buddy.
Yeah,
I was
they
like,
just called
okay.
it Buddy. They
Yeah, I was
took
like,
little
alright.
things like Friends till the end, and it became. What did it become? They changed it like.
I wanted him to say, "This is the end, friend."
The original, yeah.
I'm sorry, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Keep going. I'm sorry.
But just finishing up that technocratic perspective, the idea of a technocrat, if you watch our show, The Technocrat Live, which airs tomorrow we're actually doing a panel with Matt Newhall. I'm going to be featured on it with Walden Leverage and a few other previous guests.
Oh, look at you.
The concept of the technocrat is basically that geeks run your society. They run where you are. They make the phones that you use. They make the camera that films our stuff. They make the computers you use and watch everything.
So are they the Matrix?
So, the concept is that, so they're touching upon this, saying like people rushing to live in that technocratic lifestyle with a house that is built and run by someone else who can flip a switch and fix everything, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like it's trying to push against it. And I don't know if they were doing this intentionally, but it seemed kind of like that was like the relevant motive, considering you can like hack a car nowadays to do things and like.
Yeah, I'm not with the whole. I have a theory about machines taking over, and I feel like this artificial intelligence is going to make it just like the movies, whereas machines will be fighting us at one point.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to happen. Like these self-driving cars, Uber is trying to make self-driving cars now, and they're killing people.
Yeah.
Like they're mowing people over. So like, you know, they try to make an artificial intelligence robot, and the first thing it said was kill all humans.
But one thing I didn't
I
like.
remember that. That was like a year ago or so. Right?
Yeah.
Or you have the what's it called, the bot that Microsoft made that was sentient and then started becoming super racist because it was getting corrupted.
Exactly.
You know about that?
The what?
The Microsoft made a chatbot.
Yeah.
And it was
It's
basically
getting
it got
racist.
corrupted by all the people messaging it, and its goal is to learn.
racist.
Kind of like remember Cleverbot?
Yeah.
Oh my
Okay,
God,
yeah.
Cleverbot became.
Well, that's the thing, and that's what I really didn't like about this. It's like he's already a walking, talking robot. So when it comes to life, it's already alive. So that takes away the fear aspect of it.
And it wasn't voodoo.
And that's what I was gonna say. The voodoo. Oh
God.
I love Charles Lee Ray and the voodoo.
Charles Lee Ray is a
psychopath.
psychopath. He's a serial killer.
Yeah.
That's what made him like.
That's the whole thing.
I
when they
didn't
just,
like
oh,
it.
It's AI. Okay.
So,
There's
are
nothing
you
there
finished?
Flat.
Yeah, I'm just taking my final thought.
Okay, go for it.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
we're gonna.
because what they did is they brought they basically just they used the tech in a way too convenient way. That's the one thing I didn't like about it is like they used it mainly to convey from one point to another, and it was like super convenient. And that's what bothered me about that.
I felt that the same people
Except for one really cool kill scene where they used all the tech together, and
Right.
not the final scene, but the one with the pipes.
Okay, yeah, at that
So,
point.
when you see the movie,
I
that was
remember
a cool
one.
scene, wasn't it?
That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But my main gripe with this, and this is not going in spoiler, my main gripe was this. This was made by Orion Pictures, who also made RoboCop. And when I think about them rebooting this Child's Play, I think about the RoboCop reboot they did in 2014, which sucked ass. And I'm sorry for saying that, but that's my anger, because you keep taking these movies that were good movies, you keep making them bad. I don't understand how you make a good movie and then you make it to a bad movie. All you had to do was elevate the stakes. That's all you had to do. You didn't have to change it and make it AI and do all this other funny stuff.
self-interest.
You just elevate the damn stakes. I don't understand. Go
Hey
ahead.
Moose, hey Lisa, thanks for tuning in.
Go ahead.
Hi, Mom.
So
what's up?
Hi, Mom.
let's let them go at it.
God.
Let's try and make this a little structured, okay?
Let's take this.
Oh,
Let's make this a little structured.
Oh.
I'm gonna chime in every now and then, but we're gonna do it back and forth here, okay? All right.
I mean-
let's start off with Vinny, right? That's your name? Is that who you
think
are?
that's my
is
name.
Is that the kind of person you are, Mr. Vinny Scaropo? What's your first big gripe about this movie?
Oh yeah, like when it first started, like I was like, okay, how what's going on with this? And it's just okay, it's just programmed wrong. It's programmed to be evil. It's AI. and
Intentionally
there's-
programmed wrong.
And then the guy just kills himself. It's like that. I realized was an homage when he jumped out the window. He landed on the car. The first kill in the first child.
Oh, yeah, I saw that it was a Maz car, yeah.
And I mean, that was the thing. In the first 20 minutes of the original one, he's already killing the babysitter, but it's like
Right.
you don't see, and you just see like the hand, the foots,
Right.
steps. It's very like subtle, which is what horror is supposed to be. It's supposed to build to that fear, that wonder, that unknowing. Versus this, we already know what's going on. He's walking and talking, so when he starts walking and talking, there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing new here. And what else is like there was many jump scares. I noticed visually they was like forced jump scares that
lot of
weren't
jump
even
scares.
jump scares
Yeah.
that didn't even work. It was like they were trying to use that. But one thing that was good is the gore. That's the only thing.
The gore was good. The
once it
kills were
started
cool.
Going, they were fun and they were cool.
once it's there.
Because the
But
movie
it took
a
too
good
long.
bit.
It took too long.
Yeah.
To get going there, and it was just like, all right, it was just trying to get you with jump
Well,
scares.
it was also trying to get you to feel like connected to the characters. And I
Yeah.
got to say that the actors did a decent job with this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian Tyree Henry, who played the cop that was next door. Awesome actor. I do like him in movies, and I was glad he was like a saving grace in this movie. Who was the mom? Because she looked like Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, I think that was
Aubrey
her.
Plaza.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Aubrey
cool.
Plaza.
Go ahead.
And I realized with her and like they kind of made like almost like the set, the
Yeah.
apartment was the exact like same
Almost,
apartment. And I feel like they were making fun of it. Was almost like a scary movie parody
Right.
of the original. Like the kid's older and they're kind of like making fun of
Yeah,
things.
with the lighting. And
I
everything.
can't-
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like almost imitating like a
You-
scary movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let me know when I can go. Just let me know when I can go in. I can go?
Yeah.
This movie is bad. When I say bad, I mean dumpster fire bad. I mean, listen, like I said before, if you take a good movie, a decent movie, and then you say, hey, let's see if we can update this, I can't even say the words because I don't want to curse on this, but it's bad. It's bad. So basically, here are my gripes, right? Number one, Andy Barclay is like 14 years old in this movie. Number one, the original Andy Barclay was like 6. What 14-year-old you know plays with dolls? Let me know.
I played with Power Rangers.
Yeah, but come on, he's 14 years old. Like
Mighty Morphin.
But that was part of the scare in Child's Play, in the original Child's Play. Because like I said, I was a child. I had a doll like this. If my doll came to life, I would be scared. That is a scary feeling. Not a 14-year-old that can just kick the damn doll.
It's a robot. It's not even a doll.
And it's and it looks like Annabelle.
Yeah.
What was with the design of Chucky? That was the worst. Like he had a mullet. Like he had
Botox.
Exactly. He had Sailor Moon eyes. Like, what was going on with Chucky? Like, I didn't understand it. I didn't like the guy in the beginning that was just doing the whole thing, changing all his
He got
program.
mad at his boss.
So what? That's how they made RoboCop. You know that, right? Like they take away OCP. That's the same thing. I had a problem with that. I had a problem with the fact that, you know what? He has a hearing problem. Nobody addressed it. The only time you heard it addressed was at the end when she said, "Oh, you dropped your hearing aid." No one said anything about the fact that he can't hear.
They touched upon it in the beginning.
They said a little bit, but what I'm saying is
Enough to establish that it was there.
But it didn't need to be a part of the story.
It wasn't really important.
It wasn't important.
It wasn't used.
It wasn't used.
Yeah, he spoke on the speakers and in the hearing aids.
They
Like-
could have
Right.
used it better. They could have used that.
Also, one thing they
could've done things with that.
did never establish is that the hearing aid was actually part of that whole.
They never said that.
Because like the hearing aid looked like it was its own independent thing.
Right. And I get it. We're talking
To
about
talk to him.
yeah.
That's why.
I get it. It's the whole Castlin
Whenever
toy
he was
thing.
talking, they zoomed in on the
He was
hearing
able to
aid.
talk to him.
Yeah.
Cinematography 101, Mr. Film Scholar.
But yeah, those were my issues. Like partly that and the fact that, you know, this toy was learning to be bad. He wasn't bad in the beginning. He was learning to be bad. Had you given him a real personality like the Charles Lee Ray, because that's what we're used to. You keep trying to repackage these movies. Like, just call it something different. Don't call it Child's Play. Call it something different. I probably would have liked it better had you not called it Child's Play. Had you changed the way that Chucky looked and you made it something different. Make it a Beanie Baby. Make it a Funko Pop. I don't care.
A Funko Pop.
It's true. No,
And Nigel would own it too.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying.
Nigel's Funko Pop collection of 70 plus figures just jumping on him in his sleep.
I mean, listen, that would be better. And you know what?
Piranhas.
And you know what?
That
It's
would be
ironic.
cool.
It's ironic that we watched Toy
Puppet
Story
Master.
4 and we're talking about animatronic toys, and then we go to Chucky. Which, like, yo, I swear, this was like the mini version of Terminator. And not the good Terminators, like Terminator Salvation.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's I don't understand.
This is for Tupac.
This is for. Why did they say that? This is for Tupac. That was the
nostalgic
dumbest
kind
thing.
of-
One thing I gotta say about this movie,
Imitations.
I was laughing so hard during most of it. Like
Yeah.
I was the only one in the theater laughing. Like I was.
I was upset in the theater. I was
Dude.
angry. I was like, no.
You know how many bad Chucky
cursing.
movies there were that are better than this movie?
like Dark Phoenix.
Like, see the Chucky. No, I'm talking about in the Chucky
no, I'm saying,
franchise.
but like how the original Dark Phoenix movie was better than Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
They're still both trash.
Yeah, like, yo,
bad.
it's crazy. When I say it's crazy, like, Seed of Chucky is better than this movie. And Redman was in Seed of Chucky.
Yeah, but I mean, I was a kid last time I saw Seed of Chucky.
Seed of Chucky was pretty bad.
But it was-
I saw it in
it
the
was-
movie
it was-
theater.
yeah.
It was pretty bad. I remember it being bad.
Yeah.
When I saw this movie, I was like, yo, I was 30 minutes in. He was still getting popcorn. I was like, yo, this movie sucks.
Don't tell me that.
He was like, don't say anything. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were in the movie. My bad. But
literally, I'll watch it.
it was bad. Like, I was like, oh my God, it was awful. And then what was funny, and then I realized, like, kids were in the movie as well, right?
Kids were in, wait, what?
Kids were in my movie.
How
In the
long?
theater?
Little
In the theater. They weren't little, but let's say they were 13, 14. And the difference between them and the guys that I was sitting next to, the guys I was sitting next to was like, oh man, it was horrible. They were on my side. These kids were like, yeah, it wasn't that bad. Why? Because this is their introduction. This is their Spider-Man. You know, like when we talk about Spider-Man, it's like, Tobey Maguire's my Spider-Man. No, mine is Andrew Garfield. No, like this is their version of it. Like, and it's bad, but we know it as like, yo, this is not Charles Lee Ray. Charles Lee Ray was a badass. This guy, yo, he couldn't even fit Charles Lee Ray's shoes. No. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the kills were better. Like, you know, a lot of Chucky, like toward the end, Chucky, the kills were like really campy and really like, you know, weren't they weren't as great. But yo, this movie sucks. Hey, people out there, Squidbillies, if you're still watching from the last show, this movie sucks. Okay? Back to you, Steve.
All right. So I wasn't as offended as these guys. I was gonna put that out there. I thought
you're a baby horror fan.
I thought it was a below mediocre horror film, but it's not something I would watch again. But I left the theater.
Sucks.
I left the theater not offended.
And anyway. I don't say that. I say it's okay. I never really say it sucks. This movie sucks.
So
back to you, Steve.
Next up, I lived up to my promise from last week.
Okay.
I watched Jessica Jones season 3, and I have mixed feelings.
I said that sucked too, didn't I?
You didn't say it sucked.
No, I didn't.
I have mixed feelings.
Because Child's Play sucked. He had mixed feelings. He just don't want to say it sucked.
Because it didn't suck. And
it didn't suck.
For me, it sucked the entire. For me to say it sucks, it would have to be the entire season.
Yeah, right? It dragged a lot.
So, starting it off, I disagree with Nigel where in the beginning was too slow. Because for me, what I like about Jessica Jones is seeing Jessica like go about the town doing her thing.
Right.
I have fun with that. I have fun with like seeing her character. I think she's an interesting character.
I didn't have a problem with that.
And I thought the first few episodes weren't that bad. I thought the villain was garbage.
That's what I meant by slow.
The villain, I don't care about the slow introduction of the villain.
Right.
As long as when they introduce the villain, he's something.
No, he was horrible.
He was a watered down Dexter Morgan. And what I don't like is that when they showed the villain for the first time, he's all like, oh yeah, you can't do anything to me. Mm-hmm. Jessica, throw him through the window. Just crush his neck with your hands.
She doesn't want to. She doesn't want to be a killer.
Oh my lord.
Leave that up to Trish.
So then just like incapacitate him. just take his spine and just go.
Yeah.
Incapacitated. Bam. Yeah. No more killing. And like
it is medulla oblongata.
This guy's such a boring, watered down Dexter Morgan.
He is boring.
He's like, what do you take Dexter Morgan from season 8 of Dexter, and then you just added a few chromosomes in there, and then you just took away all of the beef behind his character, you know?
He was season 9 Dexter.
Oh my God.
Was there 9 seasons of Dexter?
Season 8.
Okay.
But like, dear Lord. And looking at Jessica Jones, like, I like how she was grounded, but like Triss, you could tell that like they wanted it to be a gradual movement from like sanity to insanity, right?
Right.
To the brink of sanity where she becomes a bad guy. There was no smooth transition. She's one day she's like trying to do good things, and then she snaps.
Yep.
She does that, and I'm like, what? Like, she has those crazy eyes. She had the eyes of my ex throughout the entire movie. And I'm just looking at this and like, or throughout the show. And then when you get to the final episode, which I'm not going to spoil, but when you get to the final episode where they're supposed to be like the highest stakes of the show, it's not.
Yep.
There's no high stakes at all.
There's nothing.
Because Nigel said there was a definitive ending. There isn't.
Well, technically there is.
If they end the series where it is, it's still open-ended.
It's still open-ended, but it's not a cliffhanger ending.
It's not
like
cliffhanger.
the other shows.
But
the other shows had cliffhangers. This didn't.
It's not cliffhanger, but it's still open.
Of course, it's going to be open.
Oh my God!
Because you know they're going to come back with all these characters later on in life.
What bothers me so much is that I loved Jessica Jones season 1.
And I told you they jumped the shark with that. The villain was too good.
He was the best in the TV show. Like
he was the best villain.
On
the series,
Marvel.
yeah.
No, just in general for Netflix.
You need to see. You need to see Daredevil season 3.
Well, I know Kingpin. Kingpin's up there too.
I'm talking about Bullseye.
Okay, yeah, I got to
Bullseye is pretty good.
Did you watch 1 and 2?
I've just seen the first.
You don't have to see season 2. Just season 3.
No, first half of season 2. I recommend watching. Second half, don't.
Because what happens is
Punisher is great. Punisher is the best he's ever been in the first half half of Daredevil season.
And I preach Daredevil season 3 all the time. Let me just tell you, if you've never seen the other Daredevils, you don't really have to see them. Just know that this takes place
There's a
after
recap, too.
Yeah, there's a recap, and this takes place after the Defenders when Matthew Murdock is hurt. Like he's basically, people think he's dead. So that's why I say you can watch it season 3 just from that, because you just know that he's dead and this is what he's done, beforehand. That's it.
All right, so just my final thoughts on this before we get into our final segment. Jessica Jones season 3 was about half enjoyable for me.
Okay.
There were sections of it where I could find myself enjoying it. I don't like when they killed off one of the characters. They try to make you like them before and after the character died, but then they show scenes where they try to make you like him in, and you still hate them, or at least I did. I don't know if you did too. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. One of the character deaths that was a motivation for.
Yeah.
Did you care about the character?
I didn't care
exactly.
about him.
So I recommend watching it if you're already deep into the franchise and you just want to get some sort of closure.
Yeah.
But aside from
That's what I say.
Aside from that, just watch season 1.
Yeah.
What are you watching? Because that's what I was watching.
Oh, that's what you were watching?
That's what I was watching.
Let's see. What was I watching this? Actually, I didn't get to see anything this week. I did go see Pretty Woman the musical.
Did you like it?
Yeah, nail emoji. Listen, if you're a fan of Pretty Woman, it hits all your notes. Me personally, I never really watched. I've seen Pretty Woman a couple times. It doesn't really resonate with me. But if you're a female who loves this movie, and this is your movie, or a man that loves this movie, it'll hit all your notes.
Okay. Vinny, what have you been watching?
Nothing really new. I mean, I've been recapping Stranger Things because I'm really excited for season.
Ooh, next week.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what we got to do for the people.
Yeah.
Season 3. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Watch Stranger Things season 3 when it comes out.
We're going to.
Yeah.
That's the
and
plan.
recap 1 and 2 because it's.
We need to have like a whole Stranger Things episode.
That's what it's going to be.
That's what
Plus
we're
geek
going to
news.
do.
Let's geek news.
But we can't give out any spoilers though.
For season 3?
Yeah.
We keep it towards the end.
I mean, I won't be. You gonna watch the whole season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One shot. That's gonna be tough for me.
Dude, I burn it through the whole weekend. Like I watched.
You didn't see what I did with 7 seconds. I watched that entire show in like a day and a half.
I mean, if I get a day to do that, but I don't want to ruin it all. I was like, then I'll be upset. I gotta wait for the next season.
I'll talk to you about an opportunity about that afterwards.
Yeah.
Anything else you've been watching?
Not really.
All
I mean,
right.
I finished Gotham, but that was months ago, right?
Oh, Gotham.
And I liked Gotham.
Did you?
Yeah, I really.
Did you like
liked
how it ended?
No.
Oh, okay.
It got worse and worse.
Yeah.
It got me through some times.
Yeah.
Kind of,
Listen, I watched through the whole thing too. Don't worry about it. I'm with you. Solidarity.
Let's just so we're gonna close off the show.
Yep.
First, what I just want to say is I'm Steve. This is Nigel. That's Vinny. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Drakentas _DRAKONTAS _. Once again, if you have any feelings of depression or whatever, be sure to call the suicide hotline that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. It could really help you and it could bring you into a better place. Another thing I just wanted to mention. My band, we're still working on stuff to do. We're called Elisions, ELISIONS. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram to keep up in the loop. Next up, Vinny.
What's
go
up?
find stuff. I'm going to go behind the camera.
Go for it.
I'm Vinny. Right now I'm working on a solo project called Suicide Pending. Back to what Steve was saying about depression. I guess that kind of has driven my musical project and most of my artwork. Comes from that. So you can find me on Facebook under Suicide Pending. My Instagram right now is Vinny Ass Shook. VINNYASSCHOOK. It's going to change to Suicide Pending, but it's a work in progress. But check out Suicide Pending. Thank you. And
all right, for me, listen, people, follow us on Twitch, follow us on Area 22 Productions. Also, subscribe to our Patreon. Please donate to our Patreon if you like the show. We love your likes, but we more would love your money. Please let us know what's going on. You can find me on Instagram at Nigel Fullerton _ and Twitter, same name. Also, subscribe to my Facebook page, Nigel A. Fullerton.
What gigs do you guys have coming up? Anything?
August 15th, I'm playing at the Velvet Lounge. It's an open mic thing, but I'm the featured artist there. I go there every other Thursday for open mic and stuff, but that's August 15th. If you want to check out the Velvet Lounge, I got a show.
This Friday, June 28th, I will be at the Vibe Lounge. Yes, the Vibe Lounge. You guys know where the Vibe Lounge is. I will be there June 28th. Also, August 24th, I will be at Government Governors Comedy Club. You can go to www.govs.com. Look for the Nigel Fullerton and Friends show. That's at the Little Room in Governors. I will be there with a lot of my friends, hand-picked comedians that I picked myself. It's going to be a fun time. If you've ever been to one of my shows, they'll tell you it's a fun time.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I'm Steve.
Nigel.
Vinny.
And we are out of here.